Hey everyone, PSK2329 here, and I'm going to do a quick review on Benzinga Pro as well as the fly on the wall to kind of give you guys how I use them, kind of my setups, why I like them, and then just kind of how I use them throughout the day and in the pre-market. So what you're looking at right here is Benzinga. This is the nice thing I like about Benzinga is not only can you really customize it, but it can do exactly what you want it to do. For example, this feed you see here on the left is just a news feed, and then I can actually, if I wanted to type in a specific ticker and look up that information, I can. And then once I'm in the ticker, it'll give me all the news that they have for that stock, and then any kind of related news you can read. You can just click around, read more articles. They always have the articles linked. If I wanted to actually click on the ticker and get more information about the actual stock, you can do that as well. If you hover over it, it gives you more information. But if I click the ticker, it'll pull up this window, and then I can look at the news, any calendar information, pull up the chart. It'll have financials, kind of give you where it's at for the day. You obviously you can play with the chart, but also, you can look at SEC filings, press releases, Benzinga Wire. It'll show you all the news from there, and then any Benzinga signals. So their signals are things that they have set up on their end that look for option flow and spiking up, spiking down. You can see here, and they kind of just notify you, and then I have that set up. So it's kind of neat. You can add it to your watch list. You can do different things with it. It gives you a lot of customization, and you can just click close it real quick, and then it's gone and you're right back to where you were. So that's kind of my news feed that I use, and that's workspace 1. And then also I split that screen with my screener, and I have it set up to show me everything that's gaining and losing. And then throughout the day you can click into the regular after hours pre-market. I do it for session because I want to know everything that's been going on during pretty much the intraday. Throughout the entire day. You can set the market cap size. I'm looking for stuff that's at least $5 or bigger that's moving, and then just set to auto refresh, and it'll automatically show you what's going on as far as moving ticker wise, either plus or minus, and it's all, I have it done by percentage change. So you can see kind of, and then this is just going throughout the day, just constantly refreshing. So that's one of the workspaces. The other thing is I have about 7 different workspaces you can see across the top. That's another nice thing I like about it. So this workspace, you can actually have it set up where you open up individual news feeds, and then just have it set to I notify you when it sees this special keyword. And as you can see over here, I have desktop notified. So I'll get a little pop-up window that shows me every time this comes across with these words in it, it'll pop up and show me. So these are kind of the 4 I'm looking for right now. You can see these are all kind of bio news related, because those can come out anytime throughout the day. So if there's an offering in the pre-market or after hours, I want to know about it. If something got FDA approval midday, if something got a CRL letter, I want to know. If an endpoint was met, I want to know. I want to see that data. And then the next one is a calendar. And the cool thing about this calendar is it gives you a lot of information. So for example, right here I can look at conference calls. So everything that's going to happen on Monday the 15th, I can see, okay, here's our earnings conference calls or investor conference calls, or anything else that's going to happen throughout the day that's a conference call. You can actually click here. It'll give you all the webcast information. Here's the phone number, the access code to dial in. I mean, it gives you a lot of good information. I can look at the earnings plays for Monday, and then as the information will come out, it'll actually fill it in here once it's reported. I'm not a huge fan of the earnings information because they don't give you guidance. They just give you the EPS and the revenue, and the guidance is honestly the number one thing I'm looking for. So sometimes using this for earnings can be a little difficult. I have to use a couple different sources to get my guidance. But you can actually see they actually have guidance as a whole separate thing. But It's something I've submitted as feedback, so we'll see. And this guidance isn't even, I think, the real guidance. But anyways, you can look at the IPOs. So I can look at, okay, what are all the IPOs for this week? So bam, here's all the IPOs. And I can then go over here. I can look at who are the underwriters. The one thing I don't like about it, and this is my criticism to them, and I've also shared this feedback, is as soon as I click off this workspace, all of these columns reset. They don't stay how I have them clicked. So you have to click on and off this stuff every now and then. And then when I also add in a new column, it doesn't just automatically fit in. But here's the underwriters I can see for all these IPOs. So if I want to do more information on them, tells me the price, insiders, what they're going to be locked up, and then also should give me the share size. Yeah, here we go, offering shares, and then the outstanding shares, because you want to know that stuff too. So what I do is I just click a name and then close this window, and then all the columns show up. So bam, here's all the IPO information. Gives me the date of the IPO, the time that it's probably going to be released or opened. Gives me the symbol, the name, the price they're looking, that it's looking to open at. When the insider lockup expires, most of them are, what is it, like 180 days or 6 months. That's typical. I think like 180 days. And then here's the offering size. So that's the stuff we look for when we're playing IPOs. And then I can look at SEC filings. It shows you offerings, things like that. So that's the calendar. And then I have breakouts. So this shows me stuff that's spiking up or spiking down. And then I can just flip through this. I can flip over through this throughout the day. And you can see on Friday there was only a few things. Thursday there was a lot more, obviously. This shows me all the option flows. So I have this news feed to show me all the sweeps that are coming through and any kind of big size on options. And then same thing with this option alert. I kind of have this, this is my watch list, the stuff that I watch all the time, the FANG stuff. And then also just kind of, this gives me some more options alert based on their settings. And then here's the earnings monitor. So here's where I go for earnings when I'm looking to play earnings after hours or even in the pre-market, because it'll give me whether they beat, let's see if we can find one here. So look right here. Okay, so First Republic Bank, here was their EPS 1.19. It misses, so the estimated was 1.21. Their sales were 768. That missed. They were looking, the estimate was 769. So I can just see this real quick and it gives me all the information. Okay, miss. Now I have to wait for the guidance. And usually that will come in later in one of the other tickers. It'll come in as a separate line item. So you can see beats may not compare. Okay, that's not good. Let's see if we got another example here. May not compare. Honestly, I haven't seen that a lot before. But see, okay, so here you can see they raised their guidance. Anyways, you can play around with this. But the nice thing is you can completely customize it. You can pick the sources you want to get your information from. You can select the categories. You can even label it down by individual sectors. If you're the type of person that only likes to play financials or tech or whatever, you can really customize this. And then here's also some upgrades and downgrades. Now this is not where I get my pre-market ones, but I do bump this against the fly on the wall, which is where I get the majority of them, just to make sure that I didn't miss anything, and I can separate them by ticker. And then also this will give me, tells me, if it's an upgrade, what they're currently at and what they upgraded it to. So they went from neutral to overweight. And so for like example with Eli Lilly, BMO upgraded them from market perform to outperform, and then they raised their price target from 107 to 130. So it gives me good information. Not as good as the fly on the wall, there's not as many. But I'll go through that next. So, and then you can add as many of these things as you want. And you can click like whether you want it to be a news feed, a calendar, a watch list. And then they have some preset ones that are already customized that you can play with. Then you can close that out. But one of my favorite features, so this is kind of how I have it set up during the day, is I have it mainly on this one. And then the other favorite feature is the Squawk. So this is going all day. I just have it on all 24/7. And basically what it is, it's somebody at Benzinga who's constantly talking on the mic. So anytime there's breaking news, or Trump may have tweeted, or something comes across the news wires, good, bad, or indifferent, they will talk about it. And that's kind of how I get my quick news alerts, is through the Squawk, because they're just gonna announce it really quick, and then in a few minutes, whenever they can get it typed up, it'll then show in my feed. But you can customize alerts, you can set up different screeners, you can have the stuff pop out. I mean, there's a lot of things you can do with it, which is really nice compared to all the other ones I've tried. So now let's talk about the Fly and how I use that. So the Fly, let's show you. So this is the Fly, and I have two windows open on the Fly all the time, and this is kind of what they look like. So if just to give you an idea, so I have one that's set up on breaking news, so it's going to give me all the news throughout the day that it gets as well. So I have basically two news feeds going all day. I have Benzinga Pro's news feed, which I have it set up to give me 4 of their sources, these 4 sources. I tried press releases for a while. You would not believe how many press releases come out in a day. I mean, it constantly just overtook my feed, so I unchecked that one. Same with SEC filings. Anytime any company makes an SEC filing, it shows up. And again, that also dominated the feed, so I took those out there. And then I color-coded them so I know which one they come from, so I can kind of get an idea. Plus it says over here on the right, so you can see BZ Wire Partner. So I kind of know, how trustable it is, or where the information is coming from. I don't use their chat. Their chat is for like members, and I find that it's a lot of noise, and not everybody in there knows what they're talking about. So go back to the Fly. This is how I have it set up. So the first window is set up, this is on a split screen, so I can see both news feeds all day. This is constantly giving me information that's coming across their wires. This is all stocks. It's not any type of particular stock. And so that's going. And then in my second window, I have the street research. And this is where I get all my upgrades and downgrades. So if I go back to Friday, I sort by firm, and then I just start at the top, and I just start scrolling down. And if I see something that I like, I'll click it open and I'll read through it. And if I like it, then I'll share it on Twitter. And that's really what you guys are seeing, is the stuff I see. So I'm just kind of scrolling through this, and I'm looking for stuff that says new, like this. And then there's 2 things I'm looking for. I'm looking for that, and then I'm looking for stuff that are upgrades or downgrades. So upgraded equal weight to underweight, and that's okay. But so basically like neutral to sell, but it's only $1 price target. That's not going to do anything. And the stock is currently at 6, so that's not going to do anything. So this is a new one. Outperform, initiate with an outperform. Stocks at 122. They're giving it a 170 price target. That's good. Something like that. That's what I'm going to post. So that's basically how I have it set up. That's how I use it. And as you can see, these guys have a lot more information, a lot more analysts than Benzinga does. So I have that set up. And then when it comes to news, the reason I have both these feeds open is because sometimes the Fly will put out something and Benzinga won't, and vice versa. But I find that Benzinga gives me way more news alerts and way more breaking information than the Fly does. The Fly is just a little slower. If you're using Briefing, Briefing is even way behind both of these guys. But to me, Briefing is more of a research, more of it's going to give you more information. It's not necessarily a news feed. It's not going to give you, instant breaking information. And it's definitely not as customizable as this stuff. I mean, you can even see the Fly is nowhere near as clean as customizable as Benzinga is. And this has been Benzinga Pro. So that's kind of how I use them. I wanted to give you my review. I've tried Trade the News. I've tried a whole bunch of other ones. Briefing, Newsfeed, Newswire. I've tried a whole bunch of them. And there's a lot of times you can do free trials, and I'll even put in I have a code for a discount for Benzinga Pro. If you guys want to try it, you can get a 14-day free trial. And then if you do sign up, it's a 25% off coupon. So I'll post that in the link. But if you guys have any questions, just reach out, let me know. Again, I'm still newer to Benzinga Pro. I'm still playing with it, but I really enjoy it so far. It gives me the most information and the quickest information. But the nice thing too is the Fly will always have posted all the upcoming events over here, and then it'll kind of give you the daily events too every morning when you're in. So, but you can get a lot of that stuff anywhere anymore. So this will do it as well. Like if I go to calendar, a lot of times I want to look at what's going on in the U.S. for the week as far as economics. So I'll click this week, and then I'll sort by country. And again, a lot of this is just from playing with it, just that night, just sitting up here, just playing with it. And then I uncover more information, or I'll watch some of the tutorial videos just to learn a few more information. Then I'll sort it by date. So, and then you can sort it by time, depending on if you want to just do it by the day. But essentially, like, okay, so here's all the U.S. economic stuff for the week. So 10/19, so this is Friday. Existing home sales, this is going to be important to the market. Philly Fed unemployment stuff, that's going to be okay. That's not going to move the market. None of this stuff is really going to move the market except this stuff. This stuff will be important on Friday. Existing home sales, because that's going to tell us with existing home sales, it's going to tell us if people are buying homes, if they're selling homes, if they're getting mortgages. Again, a lot of the bank related information. So it'll tell us if consumer sentiment is still high, if people are still building new homes. There's a ton of information that can just come from this, and it'll tell you a lot about a lot of different sectors. So that's my review. I hope you like it. Like I said, if you have any questions, let me know.